So let's see, the last time I did one of these overly dramatic self-filming intros, it was August of 2019. I used the Ronin S in track mode to plot predefined locations, then film myself while using the Sony a7 III's autofocus system and a native lens. It's now a year later, and again, I'm the only one in the studio and we have a similar setup, only this time, something is fundamentally different. I'm using the RS2's Wi-Fi transmitter, RavenEye, to send a near latency-free feed to my phone. I dragged a box around me, so now the gimbal is tracking my moves from 25 feet away. And oh yeah, the RS2's new 3D track sensor is using LiDAR technology, known as time of flight, to keep me in focus. It's sending pulses of light, measuring the time it takes to return, then feeding the telemetry directly into the follow focus motor. The lens I'm using, one of my favorites. It's a manual 50mm f/0.95, the Speedmaster Mark III. And you guessed it, we're opened up wide at f/0.95. Autofocus at f/0.95. Right, let's start my date. What are we gonna work on today? Wow, that's one take f/0.95. How is the focus look? Looks good? I swear to God, there's no trickery. That is real. Manual lens f/0.95. What 0.95 lens do you know that has autofocus? Kind of a last minute episode for me. Normally I like to spend a little bit more time on episodes, but I wanted to get this out as DJI was gracious enough to send me one of these so I could test it out and see what's working and what's not. Now that first clip that I sent you, I obviously edited it. And so let's just watch it again without any editing at all, and you guys can see where it drifts off. So there are two systems at play here. There's the time of flight 3D focus module, but then there's also subject tracking using an iPhone and the Ronin app. The focus works best when the subject is in the center frame. We can see it drifts when the tracking portion goes too fast or too slow, and the subject works its way to the side of the frame. The subject tracking, by the way, does not require the smartphone to be attached, and the signal is pushed through a Wi-Fi signal from the RavenEye transmitter, which is included in the combo packs. This video I wanted to focus just on kind of like a couple of things that I found really, really useful. I have a better video coming out. In fact, DJI paid me to do one of these videos, and instead I decided to make a film. So I made a follow-up to this.
Systems online. Estimated flight time, 3 minutes.
How do you do a follow-up to that? I don't know. I'm still in the editing room figuring it out. We'll see. Wish me luck.
What was I thinking?
Anyway, ANAMORPHIA 2 is going to be finished up in about maybe 10 days. There's a ton of creativity packed into these devices now. I mean, they really are giving us a ton of tools, things that we didn't know we needed, like 360 barrel roll time lapse. Oh yeah, we did that. We did that for sure. So anyway, if you guys want to see how I use that actually in a film, the context, make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell notification, and when I upload Anamorphia 2 next week, and we can break the internet together. Right, here they are. We got the big boy, the RS2, and we got the little brother, the RSC2, which this surprisingly can hold a Sony camera with a 70-200, so there's considerable more horsepower than before. This might be like the most gangster setup. Blackmagic 6K with autofocus? So the biggest questions in my mind are, how good is the autofocus? How hard is it to set up? And what are the best scenarios and applications? And in short, I don't know yet. I have some theories, but it'll take some further testing. So far, I'm very impressed with the speed and accuracy, particularly at razor-thin depths of field where the tolerances are next to zero. And as suspected, the autofocus seems to be a center zone. It's unclear if this will have options like other autofocus systems where you can select zones or boxes or face or eye tracking, but for now it's pretty indiscriminate. Whatever is directly in front of the sensor and can bounce the photons back tells the motors to set focus at that point. So the minimum and maximum focusing distances are still unclear, but I assume it's close to the range of 1 meter and 4 meters based on the 3D calibration process. Also, what's very impressive is the low light, where it pulls ahead of other camera systems. Now this makes sense. Unlike other autofocus systems, this is using LiDAR technology. It's simply emitting and collecting its own photons and isn't actually communicating with the camera at all. Here's what I'm talking about. Check this out. I can pull a battery out and it'll still find focus. This makes total sense because the sensor is just firing out its own photons and collecting them. It's not even communicating with the cameras. You can shoot overexposed, underexposed, you can have heavy backlight, you can even shoot in the dark, which is kind of mind-blowing. So just to give you an idea, this is shot on the Blackmagic 6K, opened up at f1.4 at the max ISO 25,600. And the only light in the room is the exit sign. Here we have it alongside the Sony a7S III with a Sigma lens. Now this is a very imperfect test, so further testing is definitely required, but you can get a sense of what I'm talking about. The Sony a7S III and Sigma combination is one of the fastest, most reliable autofocuses I've ever used. And here we can see under very poor low light conditions, it's struggling to hold up. But here, the Blackmagic 6K with a manual lens and the time of flight sensor, it seems to work as good as in daylight. Now keep in mind, there is a distance limitation, so anything beyond 22 feet does not have enough photons bouncing off of it to register the focus. So off the top of my head, just a couple of things. So the time of flight sensor is actually, it only works with the RS2, and you need the focus motor combo. So it's definitely quite an investment. Focus by wire lenses will not work. So if it's a lens that just keeps spinning, it doesn't have a hard stop, you can't actually use it with the system. You can't use it with the follow focus motors, and you can't use it with the 3D focus because it requires that hard stop to program the focus motors. Really, it's only gonna work for cinema lenses or full manual lenses, portrait lenses with hard stops. So here we have it on the Blackmagic 6K. And I have it using a cold shoe mount. And then this essentially is going to go into here, to the third one. And then we hook it into there. And then we hook it into the motor directly. And there we go. Now that's set up. We have a little wireless transmitter that goes into the bottom one. And then if we want camera control, we can plug one directly into the camera. And that goes into this top one right here. So now this is completely set up. So the actual calibration process takes about 1 minute to do, and you access it by swiping right on the dial and scrolling down to the 3D focus. Inside you get 3 memories for different lenses, which I found convenient because if you swap lenses, you don't have to repeat the process every time. You simply select the lens that you're going to use, and it'll automatically calibrate the in points and out points of that focus throw. Calibrating the time of flight sensor just requires you to focus on an object 1 meter away, set focus, hit OK, and then you do the same for an object 4 meters away. Then you can select manual focus or autofocus, and then you're done. I was very impressed with how well it did, given that it's first iteration, and I was shooting at such shallow depths of field. I mean, F095, like, I shot a whole moonlight at F095, and I can tell you by hand, that is crazy and it's difficult. And so for a sensor to be able to do it, like, now you guys know why there's really not any autofocus lenses that are that shallow depth of field. But super exciting, especially, you know, you can now repurpose older cameras like the Sony a7S II. So let's breathe some life into an older camera and see how good the autofocus really is under normal conditions. While the Sony a7S III's autofocus would most definitely destroy the 3D focus head-to-head, perhaps the a7 III would be a good matchup. Here we have it pitted against the Sony a7S II, which many of us Sony users have been frustrated in the past with the less than stellar autofocus. Now again, this is a very imperfect test. It should be done with native glass and matching focal lengths. My apologies, it will require a follow-up. It is a good benchmark to see where this focus system might land. I set the a7 III's focus setting to the fastest response, level 5, and also selected center zone for the first test. Now, it's hard to detect a clear winner here. Just going away from camera, I notice the a7S II with the 3D focus works a little bit better. But coming towards camera, the Sony a7 III is a little bit more responsive and gets there a little quicker. This is kind of a good benchmark to see where this focus system rests. I think if we go frame by frame, yes, the Sony a7 III does have an edge over, and I would like to see it with native glass to see exactly how good it is. But let's keep this in mind. This autofocus is a new LiDAR technology, and frankly, it's working better than it should. Or the a7S I, right? The autofocus on that. This is probably better. You now can repurpose old cameras. It's mind-blowing to me. Totally mind-blown. Also, a lot of people wanted to know if the RS2 and the RSC2 work well with Blackmagic cameras, and both of them work flawlessly. They have no problems fitting in. What's really great is that you can slide it in and out on the side, which is super helpful for the Blackmagic cameras as they're kind of shaped like a football. Pretty crazy considering first iteration. They're probably going to roll out some firmware updates, especially what I would like to see sort of autofocusing system where we can either zone or we can do a wide. Face tracking would be nice, you know, especially like given that they have updated so much of this tracking. I mean, the tracking you used to have to put your phone on top of the gimbal in order for it to track you, and now it just does it right through the camera lens. I can drag a box around my face and it'll follow me, and it'll also keep me in focus. Let's see how good it does. This is a manual lens. It's a stupid, expensive lens. I've never had autofocus on it. This is a filmmaker's lens, and now we have given full autofocus to this crazy, crazy expensive lens. I mean, surprisingly, it's doing a pretty good job. All right, let's see how good this is. We're gonna turn the speed up a little bit more. It's pretty damn good. I mean, let's see if I can lose it. Oh, I've lost it. Guys, this is nuts. We're talking autofocus, manual lens, Blackmagic 6K. I mean, you can now film yourself. I mean, it's only getting better. It's just kind of blowing my mind. Guys, that's it for me. Stay tuned for ANAMORPHIA 2. With that being said, I am giving away RS2 kit. So if you guys want to win this one or the exact one that I filmed ANAMORPHIA 2 with, I'll even sign it, autograph it. Check out ANAMORPHIA 1. There's a portal in there somewhere. I'm not going to tell you, but it's the entry to the rabbit hole, and I will be giving one away through that. Anyway, this is Josh Yo saying thank you very much. Stay creative.